Hi, I'm Ray with Arizonacontrols, and this is our Viper 3D printer. This video is the second in a series of videos to show you how to print a two-color TIE fighter, just like this one. In order to print this model, you're going to need to edit the G-code files that you generate with your slicing software. You should already have the two outer pieces that we went over yesterday. This model is comprised of 10 parts. The part we're going to print today is the inside wing, which is this part here, which you will need to print twice, just like you did these. First, let's take a look at an exploded view of the model.
And here's our exploded view of the TIE fighter, and we are printing this part, which is the inside wing. And let's take a look at it when it's fully assembled. And here's our fully assembled model with our inside wing. So let's get to printing. Okay, so here we are in Simplified 3D. We're going to do the inside wing assembly. Scale it to 1250. Bring in our panel assembly version 2. Scale it to 1250. Assign our parts. Select models, select none. We want the frame to be white and the panels to be black. Make sure we've got them okay. Prepare to print. Select both processes. Click OK. Test and make sure our print looks good. It does. And generate the G-code. And we'll call it inside. And that's it. Now we'll go and edit the G-code. Okay, so here we are in Windows Explorer. We're going to navigate to our G-code file that we just generated. And we're going to open with Notepad. Here's our G-code. This is where the G-code starts. M140S50 is the heated bed. M190 makes it wait to reach temperature. We don't want to wait, so we're going to delete that line. This is the set point for extruder 2. We're going to get rid of that, and we're going to change this one, this M109. So now it will wait for a set point, or it will generate a set point for extruder 2 of 150 degrees. And we did that because we're going to be switching back and forth, just like we did in the other video. Okay, so now when the machine starts, it's going to start the heated bed, start extruder 1 at the same time, wait for extruder 1 to reach temperature, then it's going to start. And it's going to set extruder 2 to 150, and it's going to heat up while we're printing. This is a filament retraction. We don't need it. And we need to do one advance of 10 because our extruder is already retracted 10. And we want to do that at a feed rate of 900 millimeters per minute. Now we're going to go to Edit, Find, and we're going to go to the first color change, which is Dual 1. And here we are. It's at Layer 2. Simplify 3D. It has a mistake in its algorithm because whenever we're using two extruders, it never generates a filament return command here. So we're going to copy this. We're going to put it right after the height command. And we're going to leave that at 0, and we're going to change all of these to a feed rate of 900. So we're going to go to Replace, I'm going to paste this in here twice. Change this to 900. And replace all. Now we're going to use Edit, Find, and go back to Layer 2. Make sure you put a space in there or it won't be able to find it. Now all of our E0 F3000s are E0 F900s. We're going to retract extruder 1, 10 millimeters. And the machine, the printer does not know that tool 1 is retracted, but when you put this retraction in here, it will move tool 1 when it's assigned forward to the 0 position, which is the absolute position of 0 here. So now the filament will be at the end of the nozzle. And now we're going to open our extruder switching code. And we're going to copy, because we're going to be inserting this code at every color change. And here's tool 1. We're going to highlight it and paste. And since we're using tool 1, we're going to get rid of the tool 0 block of code. And now tool 1 is set up and ready to go. We're going to do this at every layer until the layer changes stop repeating, which I believe is layer 11 in this case. So just go to the next color change, just tool 0, retract -10, highlight tool 0, paste your code, and get rid of the T1 block of code. And just alternate like this until you cannot find any more T1 color changes. And here we are at layer 11. I went to find my next color change, which is T1. I've already edited the code, and there are no more T1s. So right now we change our set point for extruder 2 to 0. And that will shut off the extruder because we don't need it anymore. And if we don't shut it off, it will just keep running even after the print is finished, because Simplify 3D does not generate anything to shut it off. Now we go to the end of our code, and we see that we are missing our retraction command. So the easy way to fix that is we're going to copy this line of code and we're going to place it right here. And we are going to retract 10. And if you look at this code that's been generated, it's counting up extruding plastic. There's no reset to origin command, and we need that, or this isn't going to retract properly. So the G92E0 is that origin command, which resets the extruder, and we're going to put it right after this line of code that resets the extruder to 0. Now we retract 10. We're in a correctly retracted state, and that is the end of the changes for our G code. And here is where M104S0 turns off the active extruder, and that shuts off extruder 1. Save our G code, and then we will preview it in Simplify 3D to make sure we haven't made any egregious errors. And here's our G code. Things looking honky-dory. And let's go ahead and print this part. And here we go. We're going to print the skirt and then the frame. I'm going to go ahead and use some time lapse in this video so we can speed things up a bit. And now we're cooling off extruder 1 and heating up extruder 2. And here's layer 2. And you'll notice that it's running kind of slow. It's because in Simplify 3D I have it set up to run the first layers at 50% speed, since the first layer really sets the tone for the print. I want to get a nice, good, solid bottom layer. And we'll jump forward to the end of this layer and the beginning of the next, which is layer 3. And this is the end of layer 2. And the beginning of layer 3. And this is the end of layer 3, and it's going to perform another extruder switch and cool off extruder 2 and heat up extruder 1 right after this triangle finishes. Layer 4. And now we're at layer 4. Do layer 4 and 5. And this is the end of layer 4 and the beginning of layer 5. And we'll be doing another color change. And this is the end of layer 5, and we'll be doing a extruder switch. And start of layer 6. This is the end of layer 6 and the beginning of layer 7, where it will start printing the ribs, and then we only have one more black layer left before we shut down extruder 2 completely. And this is the end of layer 7, and we'll be switching extruders again. layers 8 and 9. So our final black layer will be layer 10, and we'll just go over the ribs one more time. And layer 10. After this layer completes, extruder 2 will be shut off for good, the rest of the print, and the rest is all white on extruder 1. And this is the end of layer 10, and if you notice there, we're getting a little bit of plastic across the white rib there. It doesn't really matter. We could fix that by going with a bigger retraction, but it's not necessary because the rest of the print's white and it's going to just cover it all up, and you'll never see it anyway. And extruder 2 is shut off. We're just going to heat up extruder 1 and continue. And now we're going to finish the print. I tried the time-lapse thing. I really didn't like it, so that's why I'm jumping the way I am. I think it saves time, and who wants to watch 48 minutes of a 3D printer printing a part? Going to jump to the middle and to the end. And we're getting towards the middle of the finish here. It's going to do a bridging move where it covers up the center. And notice we don't use a filament cooling fan because we don't need one. And it's printing the axle now. And the last stop on our journey will be the end. And it's printing the square insert that's on the end of the axle, and that's the end of the print. And this part has been printed on fast mode, which is the worst resolution, and it still looks pretty dang good. So I'm not really into the 14-hour prints. I like the fast ones. I have printed this on medium. I don't know that it really looks that much better. The higher resolutions seem to work better on rounded surfaces. And that's it. All done. And we're just going to remove the flexible build surface, and we'll bend it, and the part will pop right off, and that's that. Presto. Our completed part.
And there you have it. If you printed them twice, you should have 2 inner pieces and 2 outer pieces. They're going to go together like this when we get ready to assemble the model. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, please subscribe below and toss us a like. We always welcome your comments. Please feel free to visit us at www.arizonacontrols.com, where the STL files and G-code files are available for download. Have a great day, and thank you for watching.